And welcome back to another devotion. I am Pastor Roy Carlin here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Tuesday, November 18th of 2025. We are working our way through the book of Acts, and we are in the 26th chapter. Actually, today we're going to wrap up chapter 26. We're going to close it out with verses 24 to 32. The Revised Standard Version calls this Paul appeals to Agrippa to believe. Now, Paul has been witnessing to Festus and King Agrippa and to Bernice, and here Festus is going to kind of be surprised by this, it seems. So without further ado, let's just jump right in, and then we'll talk about it. Let's do it that way today, shall we? So again, Acts 26 verses 24 to 32. And as he thus made his defense, Festus said with a loud voice, "Paul, you are mad. Your great learning is turning you mad." But Paul said, "I am not mad, most excellent Festus, but I am speaking the sober truth. For the king knows about these things, and to him I speak freely. For I am persuaded that none of these things has escaped his notice, for this was not done in a corner. King Agrippa, do you believe the prophets? I know that you believe." And Agrippa said to Paul, "In a short time you think to make me a Christian." And Paul said, "Whether short or long, I would to God that not only you, but also all who hear me this day, might become such as I am, except for these chains." Then the king rose, and the governor, and Bernice, and those who were sitting with them. And when they had withdrawn, they said to one another, "This man is doing nothing to deserve death or imprisonment." And Agrippa said to Festus, "This man could have been set free if he had not appealed to Caesar." Okay, this is very the irony is thick here. Why don't they just say, "Get him out of here"? Don't quit wasting our time. But because he had appealed to go to Caesar, somehow that's a done deal. Which, I'll be honest. At least to me, that seems kind of strange. You would think they just go, "I'm not going to bother Caesar with you, guys. Get him out of here." And of course, Paul's been in prison for a good long while now. He's been through quite a long time being in prison. It's been at least a couple of years now since he's been arrested. And had he been released immediately right back into Jerusalem, as I believe we've stated before, no doubt he would have been killed. The Jewish leaders were waiting for him. And all those guys that had sworn that they weren't going to eat, well, by now they've eaten something until they killed him. But I'm sure they were ready to get right back on the journey or the endeavor to try to kill Paul if he would have headed back to Jerusalem. But he could have left and gone some other direction. He could have gone somewhere else. Could have went to Spain, for all that matters. But at any rate, it seems that they are going to continue to send him on to Caesar, which we'll talk about on Thursday, at the beginning of that journey. But here, Festus is kind of taken back. "What are you doing? Trying to convert us? You're mad. You're crazy." It would appear then to me that Festus doesn't realize that Agrippa and Bernice are Jewish, that they are descendants of King Herod, that they are of the Jewish belief system. And Paul knows this because "I am not mad, most excellent Festus, but I am speaking the sober truth. For the king knows about these things." He knows about what I'm talking about. These things did not happen in a corner. He's talking to him as a Jewish man to a Jewish man and to a Jewish woman. As he has become a follower of Christ, he's witnessing why he went from being the person that was the chief prosecutor of the Christians to being their chief advocate. He went from being the one that was on the manhunt to being the one that is going out to fish for men the most, even though he was not a fisherman. He was a Pharisee. So Paul has made that conversion. He's witnessing that to Agrippa. Now, in the Revised Standard Version, the way they word this, and it's going to depend on what translation you read, whether it seems that Agrippa is kind of going, this is interesting, or this is silly. In the Revised Standard Version, it says, "And Agrippa said to Paul, 'In a short time you think to make me a Christian.'" Well, that sounds like he's just kind of brushing him off, doesn't it? Well, that's not necessarily the case. If you read that, especially in various different translations, but if you read that especially in the Young's literal translation, it sounds like he goes, "In such a short time you made me a Christian. Wow." It sounds more like he is kind of very much in the I want to say positive to Paul's questioning and Paul's teaching. So we're left without knowing, or no way to know. There's nothing that I'm aware of that tells us if Agrippa became a follower of Christ or not. It's one of those things that we just have to ponder. But there is that possibility in the Greek if you read it, and depending on, again, what translation you read it. But again, Young's literal translation, it sounds like he has convinced him. It sounds like he's picked up another follower for the way, just like that. Just boom, just in such a short time, you have made me a follower of Christ. Wow, that's cool. But that's what Paul's out to do. He is saying, and then he says, whether short or long, I would to God that not only you, but also all who hear me this day might become such as I am, a follower of Christ, except for the chains. That's what we want to get rid of, is the chains here. But Paul is duty bound. He knows he's had a vision that he is supposed to go and preach the word to Caesar in Rome, and by golly, he's going to go there. And that's where we're going to be next time. So I'm going to leave you off there. We will pick up in the beginning of chapter 27 on Thursday. All right? Have a blessed day. Be a blessing to someone today. If you enjoy these devotions, please like and subscribe. Make a kind comment. But most importantly, come back again. Like I said, be a blessing to someone today. God bless you. God loves you. See you later.